The Scottish Highlands provide the perfect backdrop for a ride in a very special antique car. At close to 6 meters in length, the Bentley 8-liter was the biggest passenger car made in Britain in its day. Between 1930 and 1932, exactly 100 of the handcrafted models were produced. Our classic car expert Christoph Bauer says that when you hear the name Bentley today, you automatically think of fast luxury sedans or classic GTs. And this Bentley 8-liter could be called the forefather of the modern Bentleys. At the time, they sold it as the world's finest car, as the perfect mix of comfortable, quiet city car and quick, powerful sports car. Though Christoph feels that when searching for a parking spot, 6 meters is just too big for a city car.
Als Stadtauto doch ein bisschen überdimensioniert.
From his earlier jaunt in a 4.5-liter, Christoph knows that big cars are a Bentley tradition, and the 8-liter also traded on its brand name, a relatively new concept at the time. That's because in the Roaring '20s, Bentley had become famous for producing street-legal race cars. By 1930, the brand had clocked up 5 victories in the 24 Hours of Le Mans race. Christoph tells us that the 8-liter's predecessors, which had proven winners in Le Mans, were famous for the roar of their motorsport engines. But the 8-liter's designer, W.O. Bentley, wanted it to be different. His motto was, "Silence is golden," and Christoph thinks he succeeded because there's little sound to be heard. A bit of engine noise and a bit of wind noise, but for a car from the 30s, it's very silent.
Für so ein Auto aus den 30er Jahren, very silent.
Along with the purposely built 21-inch rims and special tires, the extremely heavy chassis makes for a smooth and comfortable ride. Even without its body, the Bentley weighs close to 1,700 kilos. Christoph says that with the body, the vehicle weighs at least 2.5 tons. Yet Bentley also wanted its top speed to be no less than 160 kilometers an hour. So the car needed good brakes, which is why all 4 wheels were fitted with vacuum servo-assisted drum brakes. Futuristic technology at the time. Back then, Autocar magazine said the Bentley 8-liter possesses qualities that make you forget it's a machine.
Die einen vergessen lassen, dass es sich hier eine Maschine handelt.
In the early 1930s, Bentley was ahead of its time. But these days, no one would describe this juggernaut of a car as having precision steering or agile handling. Christoph finds driving the 8-liter a strenuous endeavor. In 1930, the motorized chassis alone cost 1,850 British pounds. That's the equivalent of almost 400,000 euros today. Those who could afford such luxury usually ordered a chauffeur along with the car.
Thanks a lot, Pablo.
Christoph says while driving this car is an experience, the real feeling of luxury is found in the back. Here there's fine leather, exotic wood, and endless legroom. Hardly surprising in a car that's almost 6 meters long. And the wheelbase is, let's measure it, 1, 2, 3, 4 meters. A modern VW Polo could fit in between. This is the Continental Touring Saloon, the biggest body you could get for the 8-liters. Technical highlights include the ribs of the radiator grille, which open and close depending on the temperature. Long semi-elliptic leaf springs and double-acting dampers ensure optimal ride quality. The 8-liter boasts fabulous design and top-quality workmanship, right down to the tiniest details. Inside the car has the genteel flair of a British gentleman's club. It's a symphony of wood and leather. No doubt about it, the Bentley 8-liter is impressive from any angle. And here, under the hood, Christoph points out the huge 6-cylinder engine with 8 liters of cubic capacity. He says Walter Owen Bentley's philosophy was there is no replacement for displacement. So after building engines with 3, 4.5, and 6.5 liters of cubic capacity, the 8-liter was his crowning glory. This one here, with the ID number YF5001, was the first 8-liter engine Bentley ever built. Now, it looks pretty old-fashioned, but in its day it was state-of-the-art. The engine came with a 5-year warranty and was seen as relatively maintenance-free. It only needed to be completely taken apart and cleaned after 15,000 miles. Special twin carburetors feed the huge straight-six engine. 4 valves per cylinder, aluminum pistons, and a twin spark ignition help the motor generate an impressive 220 horsepower. The crankcase and the oil pan are made from electron, a magnesium alloy. Many of the engine's component parts already had a proven track record in Bentley's race cars. Smooth and reliable, the 8-liter delivers maximum output at a relaxed 3,300 RPM. Christoph says that the Bentley 8-liter was probably the best car of its day, but unfortunately the stock market had crashed. The Great Depression of the 1930s also affected Bentley's elite clientele, but Walter Owen Bentley refused to acknowledge that. He spared no expense in the construction of the 8-liter and drove his company into financial ruin. In 1931, the insolvent Bentley was taken over by Rolls-Royce, thereby ridding Rolls-Royce of its toughest and technically superior competitor. The 8-liter is the last model Walter Owen Bentley ever built, and it was the best luxury car of its day. So it's definitely a milestone in automotive history.
Das beste Luxusautomobil seiner Zeit, deswegen ist definitiv ein Meilenstein der Automobilgeschichte.
But to buy one in good condition today will set you back over €1 million.